There she
this
is.
fucking stupid fucking baggie. I fucking hate you.
Mylar is the worst.
I'm just gonna I don't even care about the fucking Ziploc seal, bro. I'm just fucking cutting this bitch.
Yeah, dude, cut it off and then stick it and just hang on to a good plastic or glass jar that you have someday and just put it in one of those.
I have one right here.
Yeah, boom. Problem solved. But on that note, let's talk about packaging in this Shedtime podcast real quick, shall we?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
a lot, probably.
This is a Shedtime podcast in 3, 2, 1. Drop that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Can't start a show without the air horns. I was editing a podcast the other day where I forgot it, and I was like, that was really uncomfortable.
I know, dude. I know exactly what episode you're talking about because it did not feel right at the beginning, dude.
Yeah, that was really
something was missing, and it just wasn't the same.
And as we started off talking in the beginning there in the cold open, talk about uncomfortable. Mylar bags really are the goddamn worst for weed. I mean, fuck.
Well, dude,
what is the point?
It's not so much the Mylar bags as much as it is the stupid child-proof zippers they put on them that are fucking almost impossible to open until you figure out the science behind them, and then it's a little bit easier. Because, dude, hold on, let me find one for you.
Dude, the amount of times that I've just ruined the bag trying to open it is
you mean just ripping the top off, or just trying to get the zipper open?
The zipper open.
Yeah, dude, there's a trick to it. Okay, because you've got the flap here, you've got the zipper, and then you've got it sealed all the way to the one side. So the key is you put your thumb in between the flap and the actual zipper part, and you push down, and then it opens.
All right, well, I'm going to try that in 1 second.
Yeah.
It took me forever to figure it out, but once I did it once, I'm like, that was so much fucking easier. But I still agree.
Right here, so.
Still agree. Don't like them.
I got the coolest
jar, bro.
I got the coolest jar I've ever seen. You guys ready for it? I'm so gassed to show this. So the dispensary in my local area, who, since I no longer work for them, I can proudly say I did work for, Elevated Roots, they've finally released their first line of their own grown weed. They called it Nostalgia. And it's because they did all these old school strains from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
So like Northern Lights,
yes,
Alaska Thunderfuck,
Acapulco Gold. They went for strains that aren't even on the market right now. So like out of the 60s era, first let me show you this box, because this box is fire. All right?
Oh, yeah.
So we kick it off right there on the front, right? Boom. The purple haze. Right? Logo on the side, looking extra clean. Additional logo on the side.
Pretty sweet packaging, dude.
Then, no sticker. Fully printed on the package itself, all your test results. Which...
Oh, wow.
They have to have an in-shop printer then.
Now, here's where it gets even better. Are you ready for the jar that comes out of that big-ass box? Boom.
Those are kind of cool. The little display jars.
Yes. So you literally get to feel like you're putting your nugs on full display when you're getting the jar out. Like, super classy. Looks really nice. I'm digging it. And then I went for a 90s classic. So here's one of the 90s ones. So you got Bang.
Kind of got like a little bit of a grunge theme to it.
Yep, a little bit. And there's your strain.
Jack Harrer, okay.
The Jack Harrer. And once again, with the little display jar,
Those some nice nugs too, dude.
Yes, gorgeous nugs. They did a great job. I'll say this Jack Herer isn't the most flavorful, but I'm also not surprised because the Cannabis Commission in Massachusetts really dragged their feet on coming out for the initial approval to launch. So this sat for a couple of months, and I think had they been able to drop it when they wanted to, then it would have been a lot terpier, and it would have been much more of that flavor you know and love of a Jack Herer. But, dude, really good job on both of them. That Purple Haze is some shit. I'm really blown away by it. And all I could think to myself is if you're going to do old school weed shit like this with a line called Nostalgia, y'all got to drop the old school hash balls. Drop some Little Temple balls. Just, that old school brick hash as part of the nostalgia. Man, you give me some Purple Haze brick hash? Get out of here. Let's go.
Dude, so this is not my speed anymore, okay? But in the 90s, it was my fucking speed. Well, the late 90s, bro, I would search and I would pay out the fucking ass for Cinderella, bro. That to me, that was such a 90s strain.
Yeah,
and I would just be
man.
always fucking trying to grind it out, trying to grab that shit when I was probably in grade 13, in OAC. I guess for anybody in Ontario, you know what I'm talking about. But that was my jam at that time, because that was one of the few times that people would actually know what it was. That was the beginning of me knowing some strains of what I was actually smoking. And my buddy John always had Cinderella, bro. He'd be he had this hookup of this dude that would grow it, and he'd always be looking for it. What's that?
This is a Cinderella 99 cross right here.
Let's go.
This is Subversive Cindy 99 with a Mr. Crowley Pheno 2 seeds that I got from Mass Grower Connection. And so you said, I was I'm pretty sure I've got a Cindy cross in my drawer here to grow at some point. Yeah, at some point I'm going to try it, because for a sativa, Cindy 99's pretty mild. It doesn't have that wicked heady high.
Dude, you know what I would love to see at a dispensary, dude? Some good old Thai sticks, bro. You know what I mean? From way back. They still do it that way out there, for those that are curious. Still big thing. Dude, honestly, the cannabis scene in Thailand, bro, be popping right now.
Dude, I actually,
they fully decriminalized, I think.
You know what would be awesome? Legit awesome? First of all, it'd be awesome just to leave North America. I've never done it before, right? So that'd be one thing that would be cool. But I think that it would be really cool to go to a few different places that had really embraced cannabis. So I could go places and really experience cannabis in other places while I was doing other things. Not just for that, you know what I mean? But while I was there, I might spend a few afternoons and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and then I'm also getting high every day, but that'd be normal.
Going to Amsterdam to do other things in Amsterdam, but also hit coffee shops.
Well, I think that if I went to Amsterdam, I would really only be going for the weed. I don't really care about whatever else is going on there, because for the history part of Europe, that's not where I think of. Bro, I'm sure there's great history in Amsterdam.
You are Mr. Scenery, and the scenery in Amsterdam and the Dutch lands around it. Oh, gorgeous.
Oh, I'm sure that it would be a great place to go to. I'm not saying, but I think that if I went to Amsterdam, I would be going there to get fucked up, find weed. That I don't think that I'd be going and doing tours of historical things in Amsterdam. You know what I'm saying? I think that I'd rather spend that time in some other cities. And I'm not saying that there's not cool shit there, but as a teenager, you would dream. As a teenager that smoked weed every day and lived that life, you just dreamt of going to Amsterdam. Because you're yo, it's fucking legal. You can just go in and buy. I literally now live in a country where I can go buy weed almost fucking anywhere. Well, it's a bit extreme. when in Ontario, I can go buy weed almost anywhere. Here, there's like 4 places I can buy weed, but I live in the tiny ass little province, so it's a little different. But still, like, I mean, it's like 15 minutes away. I can go to a dispensary.
Speaking of getting weed in a tiny little area, have you guys heard about what's going on Martha's Vineyard here in Massachusetts? In the weed world? So the island's running out of weed. Like, at the time this episode airs, that island may literally be out of dispensary weed, period, end, right now. Because the sole person that was growing weed on that island legally has left the business. He's no longer growing weed for the industry. So there is nobody on the island licensed to legally grow the weed that has to be sold at dispensaries on said island.
Why? You think that they would have some sort of a backup plan for that?
Well, due to federal law, you can't transport weed over the water.
Oh, because like, you get far enough away, it's like international water?
No, because it's still United States waters. And so federal law applies on the ocean.
Is Martha's Vineyard? Is it not Massachusetts?
Yeah.
But it's legal in Massachusetts. So like,
but the water belongs to the U.S.
water
government.
Belongs to the country, not the state.
Yeah. The ocean belongs to the United States of America.
And so the air would also, I assume.
Correct. Which is why technically it's not legal to fly with weed, even though some states are cool and won't bother you at the airport. It's technically federally illegal to fly with weed as well in the United States. But yeah, so that's the conundrum they're in, is they can't import weed from the mainland because it has to come over by boat, and to do so violates federal law. What a conundrum to be in.
How many people live in Martha's Vineyard?
I'm glad you asked.
Like ish.
I'm going to Google that real quick because it's
like,
I
wonder how many people that would affect. If like they're all being supplied by one person, like
I'll tell you this much. Its tourism is huge. So like now that we are heading into peak tourism, it's a whole different thing. But let's see what the regular population is as far as like people who actually claim it. 15,000 people as of the 2010 census lived on the island of Martha's Vineyard.
So it could definitely be more. Like that's a 14-year-old census. So,
and of course, like I said, the tourism to Martha's Vineyard is a whole other thing. So obviously, you're coming off the mainlands here, and you want to grab cannabis over there because you can't legally bring it over technically on your boat to get there. Now you have a conundrum because the legal dispensaries on the island have no access to the plant right now. It's a super weird conundrum to be in. They're currently petitioning for some sort of like, what's the word? Some sort of like
exception for the time
exception for them. But we'll see what happens. Right now, it's still really up in the air how they're going to solve this situation. Right now, somebody needs to go over there with a handful of seeds as a licensed grower in the state and start an operation because they're going to be the sole provider. They will have a literal monopoly on all of the weed.
Yeah, dude, like anybody who's like a younger, like in the world of like growing, not in like life, needs to just like go over there and give it a shot. You know, go give it a test run.
It's a crazy situation.
Get it fucking going.
Now. I'm saying, like,
even if you're growing mids, you're still gonna be able to sell it.
it's just baffling too because like it's cut those people on the island off from this product that is available to me all day, every day here on the mainland. Like all these strains I talk about that I enjoy, all these products, like the people who live on the island permanently have no access to any of these products. The Tower Threes, the Nature's Heritage, even my friends here at Elevated Roots, none of this weed is available to them. It was just the weed that was there. So, like, again, you run into this conundrum. Sure, you can take the ferry over to the mainland, hang out over here on the mainland, go hit some dispensaries, but then technically if you're bringing that back in your luggage, you're committing a federal crime. Do people do it? I'm absolutely certain they do. But to be completely transparent with people, like, you are committing a federal crime. And if for some weird reason you got searched, you had reason to be searched, it would suddenly become a huge issue for you. And that's fucked.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Utterly fucking crazy.
Okay, so here's a question. So remember how that one day that we were talking about that spot, Sean, that was somewhere out in Massachusetts, right? And it was like you had to like go up around and do all this like weird shit down this like peninsula and like whatever. Remember? So think about like how many spots might actually be affected by like the way that you have to get weed to those spots if there wasn't a place that already had the weed there growing it, where you might have to travel through like a state that's not legal, and then you're not supposed to even cross like state lines with weed anyways, are you?
No.
So like there'd be these weird spots where like there could be thousands of people that literally do not have access to legal cannabis, even if in their state it's legal. Because you can't ship it through USPS,
right?
And then how would it even get there, bro? It can't fly, and it can't fly.
That is a thing, right? Because like,
yo, what the fuck? These laws are so dumb. Oh my god, they're so dumb.
Because you're absolutely right. Like, there can be situations where the road that you're traveling would take you, say, over the Massachusetts line into a not legal state, although I think all my surrounding states are legal, so maybe a bad example, but either way, take you over into a not legal state, and then that road would still take you back into your state. And in a situation like that, during that period of time, yes, you've committed felonies.
Yeah, because like, dude, it could be up there because like Idaho's, it's not legal, right? But then like a bunch of states around it, so like you might want to go from one state to another, and the road is like, yo, you got to go this way through, and like truckers would have to go. Like, I guess that's just like the regular transport, but not necessarily the people that not have the availability of it. But I know that like in like the Northwest, although everything around there, and I think in the Northwest outside of Idaho is legal, but like there are spots where like you can't, you get into like America from Canada, and so like, you know what I mean, unless you're taking a boat. So like up in like the Northwest, like in Washington, there's like these spots where it like dips way down, and it's like the only way you can get there is by like driving up through Canada, or you take like the ferry system. Well, if you're not legally allowed to transport the stuff on fucking that ferry system, and you can't cross the Canadian border and international border with the supplies for that area, those people couldn't even get fucking legal weed either.
Yeah, wild.
And that's probably real. Like, that's not like where you're from. You know what I mean? Like where everything around you is legal. But like when you look at the Northwest, like all the islands, like up near like Vancouver and Seattle and everything, there's like weird spots that it doesn't seem to make sense that like it's America or it's Canada. Like vice versa, like either one. It's true. Dude, there's so many fucking gray areas.
And then you got Alaska all the way up there.
Yeah, bro. But they're growing it all inside, clearly.
Oh, yeah, for
they
sure.
got hydroponic shit everywhere.
Dude, but the crazy thing about Alaska is I don't think people even realize how fucking big Alaska is. Because, like, it's legit, like, bigger than Texas.
It has to be, yeah, for sure.
And everybody, I feel like the lower 48 tends to just forget that Alaska's a thing until someone brings it up. They're like, oh yeah, that little guy up there. But come to find out, that little guy be big, pretty damn big.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's just because we're tacking all of Canada next to it that you're
it makes it look so much small in comparison. But
we're not breaking down Canada by province in that map usually. You know what I mean? We're just like, here's this big Canada thing, and our other little state up here. But like,
well, I wonder, Alaska though, if you broke it down into provinces, I don't even think Alaska is like really bigger than provinces. I mean, maybe some of them for sure, but like out west and all that,
That's what I'm saying. Though. Like, I think if you
bigger.
saw it on a map with like Canadian provinces next to it, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, it's small." You know what I mean? Like it would feel scale. But like when we put it next to just the entire size of Canada, it's like, "Oh yeah, that's a tiny little state." No, it's not.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
It's like,
Because
no,
you
no, it's
also
not.
have to realize, Chris, that like you have to think about it, about how small some of our states are
Yeah,
in comparison.
Rhode Island.
You know what I mean? Like some of them are so small you could barely see them on the map. You know what I mean? If you got just like a
Delaware?
normal.
Like there's
And
two
then
right there.
I mean,
Yeah.
I now live in the smallest province. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, I can drive from tip to tip in 3 hours, and I can drive from north to south in 35 minutes.
Yeah, see,
So, like, that's pretty fucking small.
Rhode Island's one of those states where like you can go literally from one side to the other in about an hour and a half. It's tiny.
it's a trip.
It might be the smallest state. I don't know. I'm not sure if Delaware wins that or not because I know it's tiny.
I'll Google
too.
it. I'll Google it right now.
All right, because
It's one of those two.
say it's got to be one or the other. 'Cause I'm pretty sure they are the two smallest states. I think it's time for a new bag.
So
This one's getting
Rhode Island is the smallest, and it's a total area of 3,144 square kilometers.
She little.
So let's see how big PEI is. I bet you it's probably bigger than that.
The crazy thing is, one of the things that Rhode Island is really famous for is the big blue bug, as seen on Family Guy. That's a real thing in Rhode Island.
I don't doubt it.
This was like obviously in the real early years of Family Guy. But yeah, there was an episode where they showed the big blue bug on top of this building. It's a real thing. Giant blue bug that is on top of an exterminator's building as an advertisement. And
Okay,
it's like
so
a landmark.
I hit the wrong search. I ended up doing a search for it. Just searched again for like the small states. So this one says that Rhode Island's 4,000 square kilometers, but then it says that Delaware is 6,400, Connecticut's 9,100, New Jersey's 22,000, and New Hampshire is 24,000. So that's the 5 small states.
Wow. New Hampshire is on that top 5.
Oh yeah, you got to think about it, dude, because it's pretty slim.
Which means that Vermont's like 6th or 7th. Because Vermont's just kind of like the mirror of New Hampshire. Bizarro world, New Hampshire, if you will.
Okay, so Prince Edward Island would be the second smallest if it was in North America, like between states and provinces. It's 5,600. So it's, I don't know, 1,600 more square kilometers than Rhode Island.
Good old Rhode Island. Woo! Yeah, their city center of Providence, the capital, is literally in the middle of a cloverleaf off-ramp. No joke. It's crazy. It is utter madness to try to drive in that spot. But hey, Rhode Island's fun. There's some cool shit out there. I got married in Rhode Island. So technically I have a Rhode Island marriage license. There's a
Yeah, dude, that's a whole totally weird concept too, dude. You have to have a license to show that you're married.
well, not technically. So, like,
Well, if it's to be viewed by the law, you do.
If you want it officiated by a law, yes.
Because obviously,
100%.
I know there's probably plenty of people that are more what they would probably call a quote unquote common law marriage, where they've been together for so long.
Well,
we pretty much are
that,
just without the fucking thing. Either that, or people just don't even go and get a license and just say fuck it.
People could just totally go do the ceremonies and forego the licensure, but that also means that you don't technically get any of the benefit of marriage, like, the tax sharing and the income sharing for those purposes, and there. Power of attorney when someone's dying.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about it. It's really all the paper's good for. I mean, cool. If I'm ever dying, my wife has proof that she's my wife, and she can speak on my behalf. That's awesome.
It's just a crazy thing to think.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Sean. Like, you could be married, okay, which you are, but someone could be married, and like their significant other could not even have power of attorney.
Oh, I know that. I have a friend who's literally in that situation. He had the power of attorney, even though the gentleman's wife was still alive. But they'd rather that he had that power. He was the one with the better mental faculties to handle it all. So, 100%, that can be a thing.
Dude, honestly, can I just say, sometimes laws are so fucking dumb, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
the thing is, bro, is a lot of them just haven't changed with the time, is what a lot of it is. So, like, all these laws that probably would have made sense at some point in time, just at a certain point, either don't really matter as much anymore, or just get forgot about until somebody breaks one and you're like, oh fuck, you know what I mean, or some weird shit. Because it's like, in some states you could still declare a duel with someone, and you know what I mean, legally you can do that and fucking to the death, you know what I mean, sort of thing. And then, like, there's those other, like, weird laws that we talked about before, Sean. Like, you were telling us some that were just, like...
Blue laws are a riot, because, like, I still think my favorite one is the Boston one, where it's illegal to cross the Boston Common without a rifle in case of bears. Yeah, there ain't been a bear in the Boston Common since, I don't even know when. But you better have your rifle when you walk across the Common, just in case. It's the law.
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother thing, dude. Have you guys heard about how they're starting to like reintroduce like predatory animals in certain states across like the United States, where they're like reintroducing wolves in certain areas to maybe help with livestock, fucking wild game and shit like that. But at the same time, is they don't realize that a lot of these places they're letting them loose into, like, there's fucking like residential areas there now, you know what I mean? And you're letting these fucking wild beasts loose in these areas, and you don't necessarily know what's going to happen, you know what I mean? Like,
I know what's going to happen.
It's going to fucking get crazy, bro. It's back to Little Red Riding Hood.
Killing these animals because they're fucking killing people.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're going to start killing their fucking pets and their fucking kids, and somebody's going to get eaten up, and finally they're going to be like, maybe this was a bad idea. Or like,
think about like all the times in like societies, right, where they introduce something to take care of a problem. And then becomes a bigger fucking problem.
And it becomes an invasive species.
It's like, do you guys ever have forward thinking? Like, is that literally not possible for you? Like, the amount of times this fucking happened is crazy, dude.
It's like they're not here for a reason.
Yes. And they shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Doesn't mean we need to bring them here.
It's like, oh no, but like it makes so much sense. Like, they're going to take care of this population that's doing damage right now. But we won't think about 20 years from now when they take over everything, and now all of a sudden we have like this massive fucking issue that's fucking everything. Like, what the fuck?
And it's like the part of the thing is too, is a lot of these places that they're doing it in is because they're trying to stop wild game hunting. And it's just like, why are you doing that? Like, here's the thing. Like, I get, like, this is just my thoughts on it. You know what I mean? It's like, hey man, if you want to go out there and hunt for your own food, and more power to you, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, at least you know what's on your table at the end of the day, or how it got there, you know what I mean? Which at the end of the day, sometimes could probably be more beneficial for a lot of people. I'm not saying that everybody should hunt. Obviously, I'm not going to go out and go hunt, because we do have deer out here, but even then, I'd still probably have to go for a trek. But it's just like, why not just let hunters do the job of these predators that you're trying to do, and quit stopping them from doing, something that ultimately isn't hurting anybody. They're killing a lot of these people that go out and hunt. They're killing for food. You know what I mean? They use every piece of the animal. Nothing goes to waste. Even the hides, they end up either, getting turned into like coats or blankets, or sometimes they even, make their mounts or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's just weird, man. It's just like, let people do what they're going to do. And
here's where that weird law shit comes in. Right? Because like in a lot of these places, you have to get a hunting license. And the hunting licenses are a finite number that you can get each season.
Yeah,
so only so many people can get tags. Them. And then you can only get so many kills. So therein lies a problem, because now you get to a point where hunters don't even want to hunt as much anymore because they can only get so much, and thereby you have an exacerbated problem. So it's like you need to open up the number of licenses and the number of tags so that more hunters can hunt, elongate seasons, and this way you can get better population control. And then you don't need to reintroduce timber wolves into the wild. I mean,
the thing is, bro,
shit, though, there's certain stuff that you don't. Up here, anyways, you can like hunt them all year round, and like you can fish for them all year round. But then there's like obviously a ton of stuff that there's but certain limits and laws.
You still have to have your license to do it. You can't.
I would assume you'd have to have a license to like have a gun up here, anyways. So
you can't. Well, even to just be hunting, you have to have a hunting license. It's just like if you're fishing, you have to have a fishing license.
Yeah, like even like technically,
unless you're on your own private property, totally different story. You could do what you want on your own property, but if you're out in public,
if I go down to the pond, I'm breaking the law. I don't have a fishing license, and that is conservation land. That's not my land. So I go fishing there just for recreational purposes. I'm not even going to take the fish. I'm going to catch and release. Like, I'm still technically breaking the law, which I think is another one that's just crazy, because like I am not here taking from nature. I'm just enjoying it recreationally. But yeah, that's the way.
Well, to be fair though, Sean, like to get up here to get like a rec license is like $20 a year. And honestly, like even if you just get like a rec license, like you actually can keep fish, but it's like very low. Like you might be able to like, if you can go out and you have like a rec license, you can keep like 2 fish if you're going for bass. But if you have like a legit license, like where you're like a fisher license, I don't know what the fuck the next one
angler,
if you're like a legit angler, like you're going out, you could probably catch 6 and keep 6, but that license costs you like $80 or $90.
It's same here, but the whole thing about it is most people don't even think about going to get a license, or they don't want to have the trouble. They just want to go out and do what they're going to do. You know what I mean?
I know, but like, you know what? Like I've seen people get busted enough times, man, just by like the game wardens, and I'm just like, you know what? That ain't gonna be me ever. No.
How many times have you seen people get busted for smoking joints, and we still fucking did it for a long time, dude? It's just it's one of those things. People get away with, will go for it as long as they can until they end up getting caught, bro. It's just one of them things, you know.
And I'll tell you what, even then, after getting caught, it's probably like, another $20 fine or some shit. So it's like, fuck it, I'll pay the fine. And then you won't catch me for the rest of the season. I'm good.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I think we're all in agreement. There are just some weird, crazy things that, we have to follow in today's society.
Well, I mean, with the way that society is rolling, like, I mean, it's fucking kind of just next level anyways.
World's ending, boys. That's
well, dude, honestly, so like I was having this conversation the other day with somebody who's like a pretty smart person, and they were talking about like America specifically, right? Because they're from America, they're from the South, and they were saying that like they felt that America is like on their way to like a war, but it's going to be like a war not between necessarily like the government. It's going to be like the haves and the have-nots. So it's going to be like the rich and the poor are going to be like going to like a war because at some point the middle class is going to be completely gone, and you're just going to have all these people that are rich as fuck, but there's going to be fucking 90% more people that are poor now. And it's just going to be crazy shit. And I honestly, like, the more they talked about it, the more I was like, when you first said that, I thought that you were really just fucking out there.
Look back in history,
the more
Chris.
you're talking, and that's exactly it. He just kept on
French
pointing
Revolution,
at all these
baby.
societies that like went through this. And then he's like, it'll inevitably happen. He's like, it's not going to be like a nuclear war. It's not going to be like that or nothing. But
who knows, dude, at this point.
See, like, well, I mean, ultimately, I don't think that you're going to have a nuclear war within your own country, but you never know. I guess that's true.
Dude, that's
There's
what I'm
crazy
saying.
fucking people.
Have you seen the show Fallout? I know it's made off a video game, but dude, they fucking nuked the shit out of the United States, and the U.S. did it. It was fucking crazy. Anyways, good show. Watch it if you haven't played the games too. But yeah, dude,
like, and we had like an hour and a half conversation, and I was like,
oh, dude, you could go down a rabbit hole, bro. Like there's so many there's so many different variations, bro, because then you also have the whole AI aspect that's going on, the fucking race to artificial general intelligence. And you know, it's like we're not the only ones developing this shit. You know, you got Russia and China and whoever else out there developing their stuff, and it's like whoever comes out with the best stuff first is going to be on top. And it's like we're at the point now, dude, that they literally have. I don't know if I've told you guys about this, but they literally have AI piloted fighter jets that they've been simulating dogfights with real U.S. pilots, and the AI is winning 90% of the time.
Yeah. Not a good sign. Not a good sign.
And like we've said time and time again, this is the worst it's ever going to be. So if we're at that point already, dude, fuck me.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy sometimes to think about. But like the
good thing is it's probably going to be after our time, hopefully, when all this.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm just saying, like, when like things really fucking go shitball crazy, because there are.
I mean, it could be like a few generations from now. That's true, but like
we'll see. We'll see the
James.
We'll see the starts of it for sure, bro. We're gonna see the starts of it, but we're not gonna see the
a year from now, bro. Like,
no, I don't know about that,
dude. He was talking all about like depending on how the election goes, like it could elevate everything. And I was like, maybe
there's just a lot of things going on around the world that are just fucking not looking good, dude.
Oh no, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like because one of the big things about like the whole presidential race here is with this whole trial on Trump with all these charges and stuff like that. They've started a new precedence that I don't think they realized is now that they're doing this, they've opened the door for every presidential candidate to start bringing up charges and cases on their competitors in order to win races. Regardless of whatever, if the charges are true or not, or whatever, like the whole thing is, it's like we're going to start seeing this now. Because who's to say that, a Republican comes into office and he's not going to do a similar thing to the Democrats now? You know what I mean? They've opened the door. All the Republicans have to do now is just step into it, and then fuck, dude, that's a whole nother shit show.
We've already seen unprecedented things. Like this was the first time in history that a speaker was ousted from their position by their own party. They took Kevin McCarthy out of his speaker position, removed him, and said, fuck you, buddy. We're going to put somebody else in your place because we don't like you now. Like, that is the kind of things that are happening within their own parties right now. this is a unprecedented time. Hunter Biden, the president's son, first time ever that a president's son has ever been convicted of crimes. Like, we're living in uncharted times.
And you're trying to say that's not Hunter's cocaine that you found in the White House?
Well,
twice?
hey, listen, it could also be Matt Gaetz.
Twice.
Look at that dude.
Yeah,
You can't tell me that dude's not doing rails.
2 different times it has come out that they've found cocaine on White House premises. It's like, so you're telling me you are the White House, you have the whole Secret Service, and you're still able to get cocaine in there?
It's the Secret Service's cocaine. That's why they can't figure out who had it.
Yeah, right? They're out back doing bumps with the old Hunter.
They're like, fuck, dude, we got an 18-hour shift. It's going to be a rough night, boys. Let's do this.
It's wild, boys. It is wild. And we got some wild boys running shit right now, which is the craziest part.
Well, think about this, right? Like, if it ends up being Trump versus Biden again, which I think
it's going to be.
Like, just think about, first of all, Joe Biden, Lord love him, but like,
God bless him, dude.
Like, the man literally, dude, I saw a video the other day on Twitter. I think I mentioned this to you guys already, but like, I just need to like say it again. And like, the dude looked like he was barely even alive. He was standing there. Everybody around him is like jamming out. They're at like some event and everybody's jamming. Like Kamala's beside him and her husband. They're like dancing. Some other guy's like to his left and he's dancing. He keeps on like looking at Joe and Joe's just like literally staring like this. Not moving at all.
Probably doesn't even know where he's at.
Smile. The video's like 2 minutes long. For a minute and a half, I don't even know if I saw him blink. He's standing there. Then all of a sudden, he like gives the guy a fist bump beside him. But it's like it almost looks like it's in slow motion. And I'm like, how is this motherfucker going to fly around, do fucking debates? There's
81 years old, man. I believe he's the oldest sitting president.
There's no way the dude can fucking run again. I don't even So then I started to think about it. I'm like, maybe the Democrats just know that they're going to lose anyways, and they don't want to like burn a good candidate. So they're going to just like let the Republicans win, and then they'll get their new candidate in like with a fresh start, and Donald Trump can't run again anyways because he'll serve 2 terms, and then they'll just because I'm like, there's no way that the Democrats could think that they're going to win with Joe Biden.
I don't think that party has a better candidate at this point, and that's their big problem. Like they don't have anybody.
Not only that,
like,
but it
stands out.
They don't have enough time to try to fucking run anybody else, dude. It's too late for that. They should have done that months ago.
Yeah,
like back in like March, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. When they had the Democratic primary, Biden won it. So like the people who are registered Democrats chose Joe Biden.
That's what I'm saying. They should have done it before the primaries is the whole thing. They should have, but
that's it. Like you have to get, because he has the option, he has to be an option. So there's that. But yeah, the people chose Biden anyway. So it's what the people want. That's the direction they want to go. And the debate that they're trying to frame this is we're going to save democracy, and the Republicans we're trying to save the American way. It just sounds like 2 sides of the same fucking coin.
It is, Sean. That's what I'm saying. That's the biggest fucking curtain over the U.S. population's eyes. Is at the end of the day, the same people are running the show, whether there's a Democrat in the office or a Republican. It's just the face. You know what I mean?
And that's where it gets scary, because that's where what Chris was talking about becomes more of a reality, is the fact of the rich versus the poor, right? Is the fact that we all know that it's big business that runs America. It's corporate interest. So that is where you're right. Like, depending on how things play out in the elections, depends on how much stronger that corporate interest has a hold in the politics. And if things slide more towards corporate interest than it does towards the people, it could happen. I have no idea. I'm here for the party. You know, that's
well,
my
at the end of the
attitude.
day, that's the only thing that we can do is, you know, like our man Nick says, Graham says, vote your hopes, and you know, whatever happens. Because at a certain point, you know, it's out of your hands after you put your ballot in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you did your part. Hopefully things go the way you hope, but you know, majority of the time, it's not that way.
I always say vote Vermin Supreme. He's a dictator you can trust. He's promising a zombie-powered future and free ponies for all. He's the man with the boot on his head. Yeah, you can trust him. He's a great guy. I say Vermin Supreme.
Dude, wasn't it last election that somebody ended up getting their name like in the ballot and they or to run, and he was running under the name D's Nuts?
Yes. I don't remember if it was presidential or if it was just like a local thing, but
It was
I
something,
do remember
but he was
that.
running for some sort of office, and he was like, I saw that shit and started dying. Oh man, dude, I never thought like the three of us fucking stoners would be sitting here talking politics and.
Well, we're not getting super deep. We're just
No, but still, it still cracks me up though that like usually we're sitting here talking about food and what strain we're smoking, but today we're going a little deep. That's what you get with
on politics next week.
That's what you get when you come to the shed. You know, sometimes we get, you know, deep in, you know, thought and, you know, conversation about, you know, personal growth, personal health and those sorts of things. And then sometimes, you know, we get into, you know, just some delicious, tasty treats. And then the next episode, we're talking about Trump and Biden. You know what I mean? But what's
the fact
next?
that it doesn't fucking matter.
What's next? Are we going to talk Drake and Kendrick?
There's no contest there.
Dude, okay, so just on that note, right? I think that like I listened to some of the diss tracks back and forth and whatever. I'm that's like not my culture. So like to me, I just like hear a song and like I hear someone like talking a bit of shit and like I don't know what it is because I don't really know the people. You know what I'm saying? So like I just hear music. But I genuinely do think that like that part of like rap is super fucking cool. Like the diss track thing.
Yeah.
I never really experienced that, like being like a punk ska kid. Like punk ska hardcore kid. I never experienced that kind of shit really. No, I didn't really, man. I never was like, I never really like, but maybe it's also the times, right? Like we're in a time where like it drops on Spotify and fucking people are going fucking crazy. All the social media.
Dude, but
and like,
this is just like, this isn't like the first major rap beef, dude. They've
no,
been around
that's what I'm saying. No, it's been around.
It's just been
way before the internet really was the thing. But
Ice Cube, as a matter of fact, has one of the all-time best diss tracks ever because he's one guy on a song tearing up the entire Ruthless Records, pretty much ripping up Easy, The Manager, Ren, DJ Yella, Dr. Dre. Even he pretty much just went off, and it's called No Vaseline. If you haven't listened to it, give it a peep, dude. One of the best diss tracks of all time, if not the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, not to mention one of two.
Or Nas, Jay-Z, dude.
Oh,
that beef, bro. Oh, dude, those disses are proud of
Ether.
Frontwards and backwards, bro.
Dude, Ether is still to this day considered one of the greatest diss tracks of all time,
for sure,
point blank,
for sure.
Like, yeah. I mean, hit him up. Fucking pot comes out. First off, fuck your witch and the click you claim. Like, that's why I fucked your bitch. Like, what? Come on, dude. Like, yeah. But yeah, like in the punk world, I have seen it because there was a band I used to follow, Entropy, and they had a song that they wrote called The Sellouts. And it was literally about a ska band called The Sellouts and how they blew off a show with them to go play this local radio station's Battle of the Bands. And they were like, you guys are so whack that like we're going to make this like ridiculous ska diss track against you. and it's actually funny as hell. So shout out to them for maybe making one of the only punk rock diss tracks. Who knows?
Yeah, I've heard people like talk shit like in punk songs about like other, like I've definitely heard like Blink get dissed a number of times. I've heard Rancid get dissed a handful of times for sure. But it's not like a whole fucking song. It might be like a line in a song that it's just like they throw it out there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but like with like, because I remember there was one. I think the first one that I ever like listened to like multiple tracks like as they came out was like the MGK fucking Eminem one. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I didn't fully get it, you know what I'm saying? Because like I don't know all the history behind these things. I just hear whatever they say. And I mean it's funny. And like some of them go hard for sure.
Yeah, MGK bit off a little bit more than he could chew on that one.
Yeah. Come on now. Don't walk into the dog pound and pick the biggest dog in the bunch and try to fight him first.
People forget. That's where he started, bro.
Exactly.
And it's still in there. It's still in there. Dude, he literally in Houdini, bro. This is Dre, his kids, a bunch of fucking people. Jimmy Iovine, like people that he's even close to. He's I don't give a fuck. I'm going back to my old shady ways, bro. And just started fucking saying the craziest shit, dude.
It is so good.
Honestly,
good.
Thank you, Chris, for fucking letting me know that dropped. Because I didn't even, I seen like a post where he literally made a post before the song dropped. And the caption just said, I'm going to make my career disappear. Like that was the caption before he even released the song. And then that song being the one that's released, like, okay. I see what you did there, because literally he's asking, he's like, he's taunting people to cancel him. Go for it. Here, I'm going back to my old ways. You know what I mean? I'm
cancelable now.
Bro, he's beyond that, dude. It's fucking, it charted #2 on Billboard already, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'll be honest though, too. Like a big part of it is there's a lot of people I've talked to who they've said the same thing, and I'm guilty of it. I am totally guilty of it. But I've said many a time, and other people have said it too, that Eminem is boring now. Because for a little while, a lot of his music had the same style that he was doing, and we got bored of it. And to hear Hypnotize and hear him go back and like pull some old style of M, pull some new style of Eminem, mix it all together, I'm like, dude, this is exciting. Like,
dude, in the videos, honestly.
Dude, the part where he's stuck between the two of them, where he's got the blonde bleached fucking wig, but the fucking dark fucking beard, dude. Like the in between was so fucking funny, dude.
But yeah, man, it's such a good video. I'm like, man, you know what? Fuck, videos still are dope to watch.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Every once in a while, man, like
it's
an
like
artist
that,
puts the work in for a good music video, and I appreciate that.
What's the Falling in Reverse? They just fucking did a new track with Jelly Roll, and it's like a fucking country fucking metal track, pretty fucking crazy. But the video, dude, is fucking gnarly. It's like fucking like Western fucking horror situation, dude.
Yeah,
it's pretty sick, dude. I
have to look this up.
It's pretty dope, dude. You guys know me. I've said it before. I've gotten into Jelly Roll like quite a bit lately. So like anytime I see him on a song or his name pop up, I'm like, oh, I gotta check it out. Because not only do I like his music, but I just fucking like the dude as a person. You know what I mean? Any interview or anything I've seen, he's just like the fucking coolest dude. And it's like it makes me want to root for him. So it's like I gotta check out what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that and I was like, I'm not really super like metal listening every now and then, but dude, pretty sick.
Dude, I'm gonna have to check this out because like I'm not a big Jelly Roll fan, but like you, I just genuinely like the guy. Anytime I've seen him on stuff, I'm like, he seems like the kind of dude I just want to hang out with. I would love
to hang out with that dude for sure, and just party, bro.
For real, like I just want to smoke a little weed with him and like just kick it and hear some stories and like. You know, that sort of situation. Like, he sounds like such a cool dude. But, like, because I've been getting into this weird, like, rock country crossover sound myself. Like I'm instantly
you,
like,
you would dig this, Sean, because it's more of a metal sounding. Like like the lyrics are kind of more country, but it's like, and it starts off a little bit more tame, but then all of a sudden it switches in the middle and gets real heavy there for a minute. You'll dig it, bro.
I think so, because like that's why I've been getting into this Bill Murray. Is like you'll hear a song and it starts out heavy, and then all of a sudden it's just like, holy crap, am I listening to like a country song? And there's like a little banjo in there, and then all of a sudden it's metal. Like back to this like driving like pop punk kind of a sound, and you're like, I'm so confused. This sounds like country, but pop punk, but I don't understand.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the song is, but I can't remember. If you just type in "Falling in Reverse" featuring Jelly Roll, it'll pop up.
Yeah, I am very certain that that'll be an easy find. Because that just
it's been everywhere lately. It's been popping up in my like feeds and shit lately. So that's how I came across it. I seen like a little clip or like a reel or something, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And then watched the whole video.
Is the name of the song?
Yeah,
just dropped 6 days ago, so it's like
it's recent. Well, it
won't be as recent once people hear this episode, but
add a couple days to it when you guys hear it.
But at the risk of fucking up monetization. Yeah, what's that? Just kidding, folks. But at the risk of getting problems on YouTube, I'm not going to go playing it immediately right now because I don't want it to come through on the microphone. But I have it literally pulled up in my phone so I can check that out.
Who is it again? It's Jelly Roll and
Falling in Reverse.
Falling in Reverse. Okay, I'll type that.
Metal
I didn't even know who Jelly Roll was. I actually didn't even know that he was white.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just another one of those people who like had like a
his career
country hip hop sound at the beginning, and then just went full on into the country.
Yeah, before he made it big on the country charts and shit, he was doing like shows with like fucking ICP and all kinds of fucking people, dude. Like just doing rap shit, and then all of a sudden, he just decided to step his foot into the country world, bro, and just fucking blew up, dude.
That's one thing I'll say about ICP.
His story before that too is crazy too. How he like fucking got to where he's at, and shout outs to his wife Bunny too, bro. She's a boss. She's a boss, dude. She's what you would call a boss bitch, and I think she has said that herself.
Yeah, that's one thing I always give ICP credit for. They fuck with a lot of dope people.
Yeah, I think he's dude, they tour with all kinds of people.
Dude, I've been to shows. I've been to a lot of ICP shows, and like I've been to shows where POD opened. Are you kidding me? They toured with POD? Yeah, it happened. That was cool as shit. They used to tour a lot with this band called the Wolfpack, and they were this like rap metal band that was just pretty cool. I've seen them play with Two Live Crew. Who else? Like so many random ass people now. It's hard to remember them all. But like they just have so many people that are down with them, and they've worked with people like Alice Cooper. They've worked with the Jerky Boys. They've worked with Slash from Guns N' Roses. Like wild people. You're like, really? They're fucking with them? But yeah, like all these like huge people from various genres working with them too. The Jerky Boys stuff is great. Literally having the Jerky Boys prank call your staff and your record label and pulling like full on Jerky Boys bits just on your people. So like there's a whole bit about being a truck driver trying to deliver a whole truckload of fake pussies for the next concert and like not knowing where he's going, just fucking with the tour manager. Like, classic Jerky Boys.
I'm like listening to that song right now. I think that it sounds like just like I think it just sounds like rock country until like the last minute. and there's like a pretty big breakdown, which doesn't sound like traditionally country at all to me. Like not even at all.
Yeah, it's where it gets this true
But then
metal.
like, but whoever's singing like the hook, they sound like they could be country. So now I'm gonna have to listen to what this band sounds like without Jelly Roll.
Dude, the crazy part about that band, bro, is he sounds different on a lot of different shit, bro. Because there's songs where he's literally like rapping and he's sounding like Eminem, sort of, just because of how fucking fast he's spitting. And then there's songs where he's fucking just singing and belting shit out, and you're like, holy fuck, who the fuck's this guy? Like, the dude's pretty multi-talented. In that song particularly, he kind of puts on a little country twang when he's singing. Just to kind of like emphasize the fact that it's like kind of like a country rock, like just like the way he slightly like pronounces things. 'Cause I don't think is normally how he does it.
Well, so like even just for example, so All My Life was a song I listened to with Jelly Roll. And then the next song is called Ronald. And it's Falling in Reverse, Tech Nine, and Alex Terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like definitely like
Dude.
Dude, that song rips too, Sean. You would dig that one, bro.
Alex Terrible is not human. For those who don't know, and I'm sure, but neither of you guys are fully aware of who Alex
I only
Terrible
know of
is.
him because of that song, dude.
So,
he's nuts.
Alex Terrible is a kid who grew up in Russia and moved to America to follow his dream to become a musician. He's got from this band Slaughter to Prevail. This dude has a growl that is so inhuman that there is a song that they perform live where he literally silences the entire crowd. The band stops completely. And if you're at the back of the room, you can hear his scream clear as day from the stage. It is terrifying. This dude is not human. He blows my mind. It literally blows my mind what he's capable of. And he does this night after night after night on tour. He's just this beast of a man. And his band is pretty nasty if you're a metalhead.
Yeah, what the fuck? Tech Nine just came in, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're never ready for Tech, bro.
No, you're never ready for Tech. As soon as you hear him, you know it's him, though.
Instant. He's like one of those guys. He's one of those voices,
Dude, I
bro.
think he just
First
said
word.
about 50 words in the first 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
easy.
That's how he came in on this track. Then he slows it down, but
Yeah, that's how Tech be doing it. He like to come at you real quick, like.
And like, dude, this guy was fucking like growling from the depths of hell.
Yeah, that's
right
Alex
before
Terrible.
That.
Those depths of hell growls are Alex Terrible. I told you, he's not human.
The double bass just comes in like right after he's done.
That's pretty incredible. Yeah. I remember discovering Tech Nine. I remember discovering.
Dude, Sean, you have to listen to this song.
I'm about to pull all of this up so that I can have it in ear now because like it's too late. We've talked about it too much now. I have to hear all.
Yeah,
of
dude.
this.
Like I feel like listening to this song on like a good like a stereo, like turned up pretty fucking high, would be a fucking experience. Between all the different sounds that you hear.
Dude, not only that, but I think he even covered like a Papa Roach song or something, believe it or not, and made it actually way better.
Last Resort?
Yes.
It's
kind of crazy, dude.
It says Last Resort reimagined.
Yeah, it's like a totally different
vibe. Yeah. Shout out to the homie Duchess for showing me that version. That's an incredible version.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. The dude's a great musician, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he plays, but he's a good singer at least.
Yeah. There's some pretty wild people in this world. Like, I came across this band from Canada called Archspire that, like, their singer has a similar like demonic growl, but he pretty much speed raps in every song. And the guitar is pretty much keeping up with the tempo and cadence of the speed rapping. And it's fucking insane. Like, I believe it was, I believe it might have also been Duchess where I was telling him, I was like, listen, there was a time that I was looking for like a band that was heavier than heavy could be. And then I eventually found it. And this is it. And I showed it to him and he was like, holy fuck. Like, I don't know if you can get heavier.
Dude, you know what? So I'm listening to this Last Resort, right? And like, there's like a certain way, like the way that the dude's singing, it kind of like reminds me of like Fall Out Boy a little bit. But I think his voice is just better. But it's like the tone. Like, I think that he's just a better singer. But like, it's definitely way different than Papa Roach's version, I'll tell you that. And the piano and shit.
That's how it was originally written, actually. It was on the piano. When the guys in Papa Roach were actually like kids is when they wrote that song. And Jacoby, the singer, was sitting there playing that little guitar line on a piano. And fucking his guitar player was like, yo, that sounds really cool, and figured out what he was playing on guitar. And yeah, that's how it led to what the song is now.
Yeah, they were kind of iffy on putting that song out at first too.
Yeah,
just because like the whole, just why can't I think of the fucking
it's some
word I
heavy
wanted to
subject
say?
matter.
Thank you, Sean. That's pretty much what I was going to say. I was just looking for subject matter, but for some reason my brain stopped working.
Yeah,
the bag.
It's some heavy shit to talk about. And you got to keep in mind, like, again, these kids wrote this song when they were like 16 about a friend who had killed himself. So like at 16, they're like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if we should do this. And it just kind of came down to like, dude, this is how we're feeling. Like, I'm feeling like I need to let the song out, and they did, and it blew the fuck up.
Ended up being one of their biggest songs.
Blew them the fuck up.
That is always kind of a trip, because you do hear that every now and then where like a song pops for somebody, and it's one that they were kind of unsure about at first, but then once people heard it, it just fucking took off.
Well, I mean, that's what I feel like when you hear Last Resort, right? Like the original version, it's raw and it's authentic, right? Like, you feel that these kids are feeling what they're singing and playing about when you hear it. And like, it became an anthem for people who were struggling with those depressed feelings. I know I was of that age when that song came out, and I was dealing with mental health. That song was, a rock for me. It felt like, all right, I'm not alone. Other people have gone through this. We can do this. These guys live to write a song about it. I can do that too. Only to later learn that, holy shit, it's actually about a friend who didn't make it.
This might sound kind of fucking crazy, but like, I honestly had no idea what the song was about. When I think of that song, I can think of the hook, but I don't think of what the hook is saying. But I really just hear the guitar.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's the first thing that pops in my head when somebody sees that song. But like, it's crazy because like now, obviously, I know what that song means and what it's about. But the first time I heard it, bro, I didn't even think about what he was fucking saying. I was like, dude, this just sounds sick, dude. Not like he's what does he say?
He says, "Cut my life into pieces. I've reached my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if I even die bleeding.
Yeah. I could be wrong. I could be right.
Should I take my life tonight?
The chances
are that I might. Mutilation out of sight, and I'm contemplating suicide." It's like,
dude, honestly, you're saying it, and I'm like, that's that song. Yeah, for sure. I never even really listened to that part. I was like never like really into the song.
Yeah, well, it's like I listened to it, but I never really thought about what he was saying. You know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, words. I know these words.
Yeah,
these
you're
make
just
sense.
hearing the song, like, all right, it's a dope song.
Yeah, you don't think about it actually, like he's telling you something. You know what I mean? And then like what? It's weird, bro, because like I don't know if you guys like had this like realization when you notice the flip in like your brain, where it's like you didn't listen to the music just because it sounded good, but you also started listening to the music because you were listening to what they were talking about. You know what I mean? Like that conscious decision to actually listen, and not just passively listen.
You're like, holy shit! I really needed to hear this song today.
Or either that, or just like listening to some shit and be like, damn, that was some deep shit, or damn, they're having a fucking good ass time, or, you know, whatever the situation may be, or realizing how smart a songwriter is with like word choice, or like, just the things that they're saying. And it's like, oh, that was okay. I see what, and then how they're tying points of the song back in with each other, but changing a phrase or adding a word or the lack of a word in a certain spot. You know what I mean?
And that can circle us right back to the whole point of Kendrick Lamar, because that is an artist who fucking... I passively heard Kendrick Lamar and was like, all right, it's cool, whatever, but it's just not my taste. I follow a dude on YouTube called Digging the Greats.
Yes.
I watched his breakdown and analysis of the Kendrick Lamar albums, and the way he pieces all of that together is so incredible. And the thing about this dude, to just, you know, put his credential out there, this dude is the bass player for Nas's live band. So like, he knows his shit. Like, this dude is hip hop. As a motherfucker, this dude is hip hop. He knows his shit. And god damn, dude, when he starts breaking that down, I'm like, yo, the wordplay and the way that the way that he's analyzed everything, it's hard to deny that Kendrick is
like the one that killed it for me with Kendrick was the Not Like Us track. Like, there's certain things and ways he says things in there, like, that people just, like, they, like, if you listen to it, you hear what he's saying, but you don't also notice how he said it. You know what I mean? Like, cause, like, dude, this is the reason why I don't understand the beef, is because there could two completely different artists to start off with. You know what I mean? Drake is a chart-topping, you know, pop, hip-hop, club music sort of artist, where like he's the guy that, you know, you're gonna hear on a lot of the radio stations, and obviously he's gonna be kind of big because he makes popular hip-hop music. He's writing trends, you know what I mean, and those sorts of things, and also starting a few here and there, but like he's not as lyrical with his music, you know what I mean? Like there was
some artist who said, I think of Drake as music I would hear in Target.
Yeah, exactly. He's somewhere where you're gonna hear Drake somewhere that you'll hear his music pretty much anywhere. Kendrick's a type of artist that you're gonna hear in very specific spots, but when you hear him, he's gonna be going off. You know what I mean? Like, he's got some songs that you might hear in the club, or you know are going to be on radio and stuff like that. But a lot of his other stuff is just too fucking far beyond the average level, like lyrically. Like,
he's a rapper's rapper. Like,
exactly. He's your favorite rapper's rapper.
Yeah, he's a hip hop heads artist for sure. Something I've really fallen in love with is, like, when I was striving to be an MC, I was always so focused on the music I made. I didn't like dive too deep into all the worlds of hip hop that are out there. But when I started getting into some of these like rappers, people like Ari the Rugged Man and MF Doom, and like hearing the lyricism and the way that these people can put words and things together it'll blow people's minds, like straight up blow people's minds to hear the way that some of these people can be linguists, I guess is the nicest, easiest way for me to say it. Like, they can bend language in ways that, like, you think Eminem can bend language? He can, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, you hear some of these dudes like Doom or R.A. the Rugged Man, they bend language in ways you've never heard Eminem do. And it might even make you uncomfortable because of the way that they bend language and flow and cadence. Like, it's bizarre sometimes. Like, R.A. gets to these kind of flows where I'm like, I don't know if I can listen to this. It's so weird. Like,
it's all like,
how?
You know, one guy that honestly like kind of like pops up and like that's kind of like that, but he's not a mainstream hip hop guy because he's known for freestyling. But Harry Mack, he's one of those guys that can put a beat on and give you a different cadence for every 4 bars or every 8 bars or whatever, and change up what he's doing. Well, also, like, he's one of those guys that can figure out a way to fucking put words together. And the way he does it on the fly is crazy. So it makes me think, I wonder, like,
he's like one of those guys that used to, like, always do shit on, like, Omegle or whatever.
Yeah. He got big for walking up and down Venice and doing what he called guerrilla bars, where he'd walk up and down Venice Street with his boombox.
And he's got, like, salt and pepper hair.
Yeah.
He's like a white dude. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he would just like have people like randomly give him things to rap about, and he'd have like freestyle it.
8 different words these guys have thrown to him that he's got to remember on top of saying some shit that he's never said before.
And he's rapping about what's going on, so he's including the people and the scenario and the scene. Yeah, so
he's aware of his surroundings as well as what he's saying on top of the words that he's got to say, and figuring out how to tie things together all at the same time, as well as changing his cadence up to where he's not sticking with the same flow the whole time. Like you'll see, like after he hits like a word, he'll kind of switch it up. Like, okay, let me give him something different here, as well as, you know, not possibly because it could also just fit the word better that he's trying to use. You know what I mean? So he's smart enough to know, like, all right, I could switch up here just to make it flow better.
Or so I can make it like 4-syllable words so it bounces.
Exactly, and make a different connection. You know,
when I was coming up, we used to call that Snoop styling, because we remembered all hearing the story of Snoop Dogg doing this when he was a kid growing up. And like, they'd all be in a cypher and people would just start pointing at things, and it'd be like, Snoop would be like, yeah, and my man's red Converse, you know, and then he'd just like keep going, and all of a sudden they'd point at like a car going by, and he'd be like, and the red pickup truck, and just keep going.
Those would be blue Converse, dude.
Yeah, it would be blue Converse, or it wouldn't be his man's.
Exactly. He wouldn't be hanging.
Or maybe he's calling out his man's red Converse because he's like, yo, what are you doing? You on the wrong block to be wearing them shoes.
It's a mistake you don't want to make, dude. Anyways.
Like I said, that's how I copped a great pair of fucking Nike Battlegrounds. They were the wrong color. Couldn't wear them in his neighborhood. Thank you, crackhead. Couldn't have the blue shoes. They had to be red, so he gave them to me. Good looks.
Dude, I don't like blue or red.
Dude, honestly, you guys are making me want to dive back into like some old like hip hop, like some relics of like some solid, just like you were saying, Sean, like rappers.
Dude, maybe like I'm not saying that he's a rapper's rapper or anything. He maybe is. I have no idea. But it's like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I like heard, I was listening to like the DJ on Spotify, and I heard a fucking KRS-One song.
Oh,
so then
dude.
I just ended up listening to like KRS-One for like an afternoon. And I was like, dude, this guy was putting out fucking bangers, and like this shit's old. Like,
he's a legend.
I was
in the
pretty
game.
young when like he was putting out music.
Yeah,
he's like one of the OGs, dude.
Yeah, and it's like, but the thing is, right? It's like, even though it was so old, it sounded so new compared to like what other shit was coming out at that time.
It's because what's coming out, right? Well, yeah, even it's just because at that time, dude, there's so many different people coming out and doing like different things, dude, that everything was just like so kind of crazy. And now it's like everything is so one fucking lane that that shit that fucking back in the day is still feels fucking new because
the music industry wasn't a thing in hip hop yet. It was literally all independent.
So they're able to do what they wanted to do, bro.
Yeah.
That's why, honestly, you see a lot of these independent artists tending to fucking become a lot bigger nowadays. Is because there's no label holding the restraint saying you need to fucking give us a rap album. And I mean strictly rap album. You can't be doing like a little R&B or rock or any of the sort of shit. So now that's also how you're able to get all these different fucking collabs with all these cross genre artists and shit nowadays too. It's because like they're not tied down to labels saying you can't do that. That's not going to be good for your image. And we're getting fucking all these amazing
YouTube
tracks.
artists, like, whoo!
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, 100%. Like, there are people who have blown up because they just made songs on YouTube, and like, all of a sudden it was like, boom, 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 boom. Now they're all collabing together, and you're getting wild shit to come out of these people. These are like hella talented people.
Well, I guess it's the way that the industry has moved. I guess, like James, the way that you put it is actually like it's very, very true. I mean, dude, I watched this. I guess it was a documentary maybe in the last 6 months, and it was about Chad Muska. And like, dude, Chad Muska was like fucking doing like all these. He put out an album, and he had like all these huge fucking rappers that were like on his album. And like, do you know who Chad Muska is, James?
The skateboarder, right?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, he was like.
I was like, wait, there's another Chad Muska, bro.
No, he was like in like Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Remember, he always had the boombox and shit, and like that's how he would always roll. And yeah, dude, he like put out this like fucking thing with like big fucking time people, but they're all like older because like he's older than me, so I think they're probably like the shit that he was listening to when he was a teenager. So it'd be like in the early 90s, like big time fucking rap like artists and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like Chad Muska literally.
You mean like Nelly,
it, bro? Oh. No, like more rappers. More of a
Nelly
rapper than Nelly.
Well, don't say that to Nelly, bro.
Saying like Smith and Wesson.
Yeah, dude, just like I can't remember like some of the names, but
that was just honestly
it was like a big deal. Like, you know what I mean?
That was just like the first weird name.
I mean, I'll say this: a lot of those bands like of that era, features and stuff become less expensive because of the fact that like these artists have done what they did. Now they're just kind of like, yeah, we're just touring on our songs, just having a good time. Now we made our money, we're just having fun, and then like you end up getting fucking cool collabs because like it's like, oh yeah. Feature with Onyx cost me, $300. It was worth it. We made a cool song. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like it's so cool how like you could do that if you have those like you know where to look, get those connects.
Dude, I wish I could remember what this like doc was or like what this video was or whatever. But dude, Chad Muska, like, bro, has fucking lived a life, man.
Dude, he's
like a lot of those dudes have, bro. Have you honestly? If you like skateboarding, Chris, and you're into like a lot of those guys, you should listen to the Hawk vs. Wolf podcast, or you can even watch it. It's Tony Hawk and Jason Ellis, and they have like all of the fucking best skateboarders on there, and they just like talk about like the old days and shit. Like
the video was epically later about Chad Muska. It's from like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
Oh yeah, I've seen the epically latered on Chad Muska, and it's dude, epically latered's a cool fucking series.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool series. You get to like get the real like whole life stories of some like really cool classic skateboarders that like we grew up with for sure.
But, looking at Chad Muska's 3 years older than me.
Chad Muska sounds like we're going to be where we close this guy up, my friends, because we are coming to the end of our time. Gina's like looking at the watch, so I know what that means. So we got you, Gina. You're not going to miss the nail appointment, I promise. They do look fire, I got to admit. Your nail girl's dope. So anyway, yeah, this way we don't make Gina mad. Uncle Chris, take us on home.
Well, I'm just gonna actually take us home by first of all shouting out Chad Muska because, dude, you still have you designed or you're a part of the best shoe that I ever owned. Muska 901s, baby. Take me back to like 2001, like unreal stash pocket. The amount of weed that I got into shows because of those fucking shoes was alarming, bro. I made like a bunch of money at a number of festivals by just like having like probably, I would say even like a quarter of my shoes. And once you got in there, bro, you could be selling that shit for fucking like a joint for $20. It was fucking amazing. So shout out to Chad Muska for that. Also, I never did any of that stuff that's illegal. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Of course, go to shedtimepodcast.com. Check that out. You can check out our Patreon. You can check out all the guests we've had, all the other stuff that we have. So feel free to do that. Of course, check us out on Friday nights on the Green Room on Frames Janko Vapors YouTube channel. Just come by, kick it, be a part of the conversation. It's always fun to have people participating. And I think that's probably it. Actually, you know what? Shout out to Dynavap. I just wanted to say I still love you so much. But I think that's it. So everybody be safe. Have a good week. Live your best life. James, go ahead.
As always, shout out to all the Shedheads for you guys' continuous support. We greatly appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure you guys go hit those 5-star reviews for us and share the podcast wherever you can, because that helps us out, helps more people find out about us, and helps us grow. So hopefully that we can bring better content to you. And with that, check us out on Friday, like Chris said, over on my YouTube channel. If you want to get a little double dose live action situation. Other than that, we'll be here in the shed doing what we do. Summit ended as I always do, setting up positive vibes, crisp high fives. And as always, don't forget to tell someone you love them, and a little bag or dabble do you.
That's a fact, my friends. So one more time, shedtimepodcast.com is your one-stop shop for all things Shedtime Podcast. You can get merch there. You can find the Patreon there. You can find links to the Frames Janko Vapor channel there, and so much more. So go ahead, check it out, shedtimepodcast.com. It's your one-stop shop. Find it on all your favorite podcast platforms. And, of course, like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. We appreciate it. We love you, all right? So with that, don't let the best get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. And whatever it is you do, try and have some fun. It's the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right. Your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy, Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton at Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone Coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Suck, dude.
Bye-bye.
Get you some real MCs.